Good morning. Today's date is 18/10/2022. Morning Murli. Om Shanti Bapdada. Essence. Sweet children, sit in silence by withdrawing your senses like a tortoise and spin the discus of self-realization. Remember the Father who is the saccharine of all relationships, and your sins will be absolved. Question. What is the Father Srimad for the children who belong to God's clan? Answer. Since you have become the children of God and are sitting personally in front of Him, you have to remember Him with a lot of love. Follow His Srimad. The more you remember Him, the more intoxication you will have. However, Maya Ravan sees that his customers are being snatched away, so he wages a war on you. Baba says, Children, don't become weak. I am sitting here to give you power. Song. Have patience, O mind. Your days of happiness are about to come. Om Shanti. Who says to you, children, O children? It is the soul that is referred to as mind. The mind and intellect are in the soul, so they have been given these names. Many children have many names. For instance, God is called the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, Baba, and some even call him Father. So, Baba is the simplest name of all. Baba says, do you remember whose children you are? You children are now sitting here. Who is in front of you? You souls would say that Baba is sitting in front of you. It is such a simple matter. You children know that the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul is the Father of you souls. People say Baba to young and old, whereas souls here call their father Baba. The soul says, O God the Father. The father of a body would not be called God the Father. You know that you are sitting in front of that Baba. This refers to the soul. Shiv Baba explains who he is. I am the Supreme Soul, I am the Father of all of you souls, and I reside in the Supreme Abode. This is why I am called the Supreme Soul. When you combine the two words Param and Atma, Supreme and Soul, it becomes Paramatma, God. It is so easy. Who is sitting here? Shiv Baba. If he weren't here, Brahma wouldn't be here either. You children always have remembrance of him in your hearts. He too is a soul. There is no difference. Just as the soul is a star and you have a vision of that star, in the same way a vision of the Father would also be in the form of a star. However, when they have said that he is so bright that it can't be tolerated, that is the feeling in their minds. Everything the Father tells you is accurate. Just as you souls, similarly, I too am soul. I have to sit next to the soul in his body, in his forehead. He sits here and explains that you souls have parts of 84 births recorded in you. Each one has its own part. It is said that souls and the Supreme Soul remain separate for a long time. The words Paramatma are very clear. By calling him Paramatma, people have become confused. He too is a soul, but he is the Supreme Soul who always resides in the Supreme Abode. Brahma is not called Supreme Soul. All of these are living beings. Some are sinful souls and some are charitable souls. The Father says, I am not called sinful soul or a charitable soul. I am simply called the Supreme Soul. I too have a part. I come once every cycle to make the impure world pure. People remember, O purifier, come, but no one considers himself to be impure or to belong to the community of Ravan. They say that they want the kingdom of Rama. They burn Ravan, but they don't even know that they are part of the community of Ravan. They are definitely impure, and this is why they call out. They don't call out to Krishna. He is not called the Supreme Soul. The Father of all of us has come from the Supreme Abode, and he is called the Supreme Soul. By his being Ishwar and Bhagwan, there is confusion. Father explains to you through this living being. He tells you, children, may you be bodiless. You were my children when I sent you here. You adopted bodies in heaven and then went around the cycle. You have now completed the cycle of 84 births. At this time, all are children of Ravan. It was Ravan that made you impure. You have now become the children of God. Baba has now come. He says, my part is to make the devilish community into divine community. According to the drama, I too come at my own time at the confluence age of each cycle. When it is the impure old Tamopradhan world of Iron Age, it is then that I come to establish the kingdoms of Sun and Moon dynasties. Only when they no longer exist can I establish them. Then, when Sun and Moon dynasties exist, the Merchant and Shudra dynasty will not exist. You have become the children of God in order to become the children of the deities. Therefore, you need to have yoga with the Father through which your sins can be absolved. You have to spin the discus of self-realization in order to become ever healthy and ever wealthy. You have to remember Baba. It is this that requires effort. Keep a chart of how long you remember Baba. The more you stay in remembrance, the more you will have feeling of supersensuous joy. This is why it is said that if you want to know about supersensuous joy, ask the Gops and Gopis who belong to Gopi Vallabh. The father is called Vallabh. The form of a father would be the same as his children. In the same way, Father of souls is also a soul, but he is the one who resides in the supreme abode. If that seed were to come down into the cycle, the tree would go up above, just as the seed of a physical tree is down below and the tree is above. However, this is an inverted tree. The seed of it, the Supreme Soul, resides in the supreme abode. Souls come down from above in order to play their parts. The branches continue to emerge. Father says, Ravan made you ugly. You now have to become beautiful. They have shown both Krishna and Narayan as dark blue. Why do they show Lakshmi as fair? Both must have sat on the pyre of lust. They say Krishna that he was bitten by a snake. So who bit Narayan? They don't understand anything. They have created all the images by following the dictates of Ravan. Baba has now come and is giving you Srimad in order to liberate you from Ravan. I am the bestower of salvation for all. The title Sri Sri 108 Jagat Guru is also his title, and so he gives salvation to the world. A lot of his praise is written in the Granth. The Satguru, the true emperor, is the one who establishes the land of truth. Baba has learnt all of this by heart, but he didn't understand the meaning of it. He used to consider himself to be very religious minded, but he belonged to the Ravan's clan. You now belong to God's clan, and so you have to remember him with so much love. Baba, you are so sweet. You take us to heaven. The more you remember Heavenly God, the Father, the more intoxication you will feel. Who are you sitting in front of at this time? The Father says, O beloved children, I am your Supreme Father. I am speaking to you souls. Now, why are you not following my Srimad? The evil spirit of lust makes you fall. The Father says, why do you become weak? You are receiving Srimad, so why are you following devilish dictates? You have to battle. Maya believes that her customers are being snatched away, and so she battles. The Father is giving you power. He teaches you so many lessons and also explains to you the essence of all Vedas and scriptures. He would not tell you that in subtle region. They have shown Brahma emerging from the navel of Vishnu. How could there be a navel in subtle region? Just look at the things they have written. The knowledge that you are receiving now doesn't last forever. It ends here. All the scriptures that are written later continues forever. This knowledge disappears here. The Father says, Now follow my directions, become soul conscious. Run the race and become a garland around my neck. This race is of intellects. Sannyasis cannot say, may you become bodiless. Constantly remember me alone. God says this to everyone because all are His children. I have come to take everyone back home. However, you children listen to Him personally, but not the whole world does. So people celebrate Shivratri, the night of Shiva. They also have temples to Shiva. They definitely came, but Shiva's form is not so large. He is a star. When you tell people this, they ask if the images that have been created in the temples are wrong. This is why the father explains, children, I too am a soul. It is just that you enter the cycle of birth and death, whereas I don't. This is why I am able to liberate you. I am the purifier, and so I definitely have to come into the impure world. If you don't call Him the purifier, people would think that He creates a new world, that annihilation takes place and that He then creates a new world. However, He is called the purifier, which proves that this world is eternal. It doesn't go through annihilation, it simply becomes impure, and I make it pure. This is why I enter this bull or lucky chariot in order to make you into Narayan from an ordinary human. Everyone wants to become a part of Sun dynasty. There is also the story of devotee who asked if he could marry Lakshmi. Narad was the devotee. He was told, first of all, look at your face. First of all, from being a monk, you become worthy of being in a temple, and you will then be able to marry Lakshmi. You are now becoming worthy of being in a temple. All of that applies to this time. Who is telling you all of these things? Shiv Baba is sitting in the center of the forehead of Brahmadada and explaining these things to you. Since this one soul is sitting in the forehead, he must definitely be sitting next to him. The knowledgeful Father tells you all the secrets of the beginning, the middle, and the end, with which it is easy for you to spin the discus of self-realization. By spinning the discus of self-realization, your sins will be absolved. Otherwise, there will be punishment. You won't even become a part of the rosary of victory. When you're free, sit in silence like a tortoise and spin the discus of self-realization. You now have to return home, remain pure in this last birth. This is called breaking the discipline of following the code of conduct of worldly society and of becoming impure. Remember no one else. When you die, the world is dead for you. Become bodiless, belong to me, and your sins will be absolved. Everyone has to die, so who would weep for whom? In Hiroshima, everyone died and there was no one left to weep for anyone else. This is why you now have to go back from the land of tears. In this dirty world, every organ of everyone is filled with germs. So why should you remember them? In the golden age, you will not have such bodies. There, every organ will have fragrance. Baba is making all the dirty, smelly ones into flowers. This is why he has to enter such an old, long boot. Baba says, you may live at home, but you have to follow Srimad. Don't indulge in vice. Shiv Baba is sitting in front of you, so don't forget him. Acha. Song. The sky is calling out to the earth. The Father who resides in the sky is calling out to those who reside on earth. You now have to become me, therefore become destroyers of attachment. I will give you the limitless happiness of heaven. The Father is the saccharine of all types of happiness. All the maternal and paternal uncles cause you sorrow. Your renunciation is of the whole devilish world of hell. Sannyasis simply renounce their homes. You have to forget this dirty world of hell. When people have a little wealth, they believe that they are in heaven. People may be so wealthy now, but if they go bankrupt, or if an aeroplane crashes, everyone finishes. So they then begin to weep and wail. There is no question of accidents there. No one weeps there. Baba says, okay, if you are in heaven, stay happy. I have come here for the poor who are in hell. Donations are given by the wealthy to the poor. Do wealthy ones donate to wealthy ones? I am the wealthiest of all. I give donations to those who are poor. The wealthy ones are lost in the intoxication of their wealth and fashion. Acha. Baba explains that this is Indraprasth, court of Indra. Here, swans pick up pearls. However, those who are storks would pick up stones. This is why Baba says, only swans, that is, who picks up virtue, should come here, not storks, who sees the defects of others. Acha. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. We, the spiritual children, say Namaste to our spiritual father. Essence for Dharana. Follow the Father Srimad, become soul conscious and become a garland around the Father's neck. Stay in remembrance of the Father and experience super sensuous joy. Point 2. Become a total destroyer of attachment to this world. Don't remember the dirty body of anyone. Blessings. May you become a world server and finish your karmic bondages with the bond of service. While living at your home with your family, never think that you are there because of your karmic accounts or bondages. No, that too is service. When you are bound with the bond of service, your karmic bondages will finish. Until you have the consciousness of serving, karmic bondages will pull you. If there is a karmic bondage, there will be waves of sorrow. But if there is the bond of service, there will be the happiness. So, finish your karmic bondages with the bond of service. Wherever a world server is in the world, he is there to do world service. Slogan: stay aware of your divine form, and no one's wasteful vision will fall on you. Stay aware of your divine form, and no one's wasteful vision will fall on you. Om Shanti.